Hey y'all, good morning and happy Mother's Day. Y'all, I'm putting on my Milk Hydro grip. Y'all know I had to pull up so I can talk to the girls. We're going to talk about motherhood. Before we get into motherhood, I just want to know how many of y'all have seen the movie Sinners? Y'all, oh my gosh. I want to see it again, but I want to look at a summation of it and see what people say about it. But I want to actually see it again first. I'm putting on my Master Prime as well. I do 2 primers because why not? I've been having these smile lines lately. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't want them. And I'm flipping the script today. I'm doing the Milk Hydro Grip first, and then I'm going in with the Maybelline. I know that there are a lot of things that I may have missed when I saw it the first time. You know, those subliminals. And I know that there are a lot of reviews out there summing the movie up, saying what I missed. Now, don't want to go and watch those reviews quite yet because I want to go back and see if I can catch them myself. How many of y'all do that? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to pull this out again. I used this the other day. I filmed it, showed you guys what it looked like. It was really loose. This is the new to me Maybelline Lumi Matte, and it's in the shade 368. I did not give you guys my opinion in that video, but I'm gonna give it to you here. I feel like this shade is not my shade, so I am gonna be mixing it with my 370 and the regular matte. I also feel like it's too loose, so that's another reason why I'm gonna go ahead and mix it. Now that we got that out the way, we'll see. And some of the other products that I used when I did use this, when I did that makeup look, I'm gonna switch up just a few of those things. We keep going. Ryan Coogler, as a filmmaker himself, right? Some people have mixed feelings about him. He's the person that did Black Panther and some other movies. His style is different. He's from California, young guy, you know. But this is not about him. This is about the movie. What I got from the movie, the style of it seems to be almost like a Quentin Tarantino style of movie. And for me, I don't really do Quentin Tarantino. This one is the Lumi Matte, and this one's my regular matte. So this is how the shades differ. Also, I have not been putting on, or trying my best not to put on, a large amount of foundation. I realized before that I was putting on droves of foundation and it was not needed. If you've been following any of my videos, I'm correcting that mistake now. And as you can see, I put on those two little lines of foundation, and then boom, look at that. See how much coverage I got? You don't need all of this, like all of my hand. That's too much for your entire face. So don't do it. What was I saying? We talking about the movie. I think he has a Quentin Tarantino style of filming. I don't necessarily like Quentin Tarantino, or at least that's the way that the movie looked when I saw it. That's another reason why I said I want to go ahead and see it again, because I do like Michael B. Jordan. He is a great actor. I like the fact that he played himself twice. That was pretty cool. Vietnam War vet come back. I love the whole storyline without the vampires. Sorry, spoiler alert if you have not seen it. I'm talking about it. And I like that storyline. I like how they were known as badasses. They came back and they were trying to build them a juke joint. That's when the setup had already begun. That's how things were. I was reading, and historically it has been said that when veterans came back, they had a hard time getting their home loans and getting access to their loans that they were privy to. They didn't get them. It fell in line with some of the things historically that we as Black people had to deal with. And music, as much as I love music, it was all up and through there. How it transitioned through the different layers and genres of music. Oh my. If you didn't get the subliminal there, I did pick that one up. You know how it translates and takes us from one place to the next. My mom is a big advocate of telling me all the time, make sure I'm careful about what I listen to. It goes into your spirit. Look at those lines already trying to form. You know, this is what I'm talking about, because I'm talking. I want to know you guys' comments. If you did see it, what did you feel about it? Would you watch it again? Or is it on your list of highs or lows when it comes to movies? Have you seen any of his, give it talking. I talk with my brows. Did you see any of his other movies like Black Panther and such? Let's get into some chit chat about motherhood, because we are moms. Not that I don't care for you dads, but today we're talking about mom. When I first became a mom, I was 20. Gosh, to say that. Dun, dun, dun. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so like I was saying, y'all, I remember the first time I became a mom, I was, I think, 20 going on 21. I had my first child, Anaya, my daughter. I was so excited. I was so happy. It was my mom and his mom's first grandchild. And honey, we were excited, okay? And then came my son, my second son, and then my third son. No, that was not right. Then came my son, and then came my second son, my third child. Honey, motherhood taught me that I could not think of just me. I was an only child for 10 years, and I want to say I did and probably still do have a lot of selfish tendencies that I have been working on. Honey, not as a mom. If that's what you think, that goes out the window. Thinking about that now, in this day and age, I can imagine my daughter being 23. She thinks about her. And me, between the ages of 21 and 23, like her, maybe 25, I had 3 children. Bruh, I had to become the most selfless person and think about them first. And of course, thank God I was married, because my better half was so mature. I don't know what I would have done. My babies grew me up, but in a good way, because they taught me there is somebody and there is something more important than my own self in this world to love on. And they loved me. To see their faces when I came home get so lit up, to just want to share something with me and tell me something. Mommy this, mommy that. Even to this day, it's just, when they want to share something with me. Mommy this, mommy that. I'm like, what's up? Let me know. It's still such a bright light around those moments. There is nothing like mommyhood moments. You know what I mean? Those shared moments, I don't know. You tell me. Y'all drop me some comments if you shared in that selflessness and those mommy moments, like when you very first, had your first child. I remember, man, when I found out I was pregnant, I was excited. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a baby shower. Now, I did want a boy. I wanted my boy child to be older, or the oldest, because in the event if I had another, at the time I didn't know I was going to have multiple kids, because first of all, I didn't want any. And then I switched it and I was like, okay, I want one. But then when I was pregnant with the one, I did want the first one to be a boy, because I wanted the boy to be able to protect my girl in the event that I had a girl later on. But God said, you are going to get this girl and deal with her first. And baby, I got what I needed. I got a mini me. It's funny because my daughter is kind of thuggish. She's not boyish in any kind of way. She's a full grown girl, but she is her. She's unique in her own very special way. But baby, we had like 2 baby showers when it came to her. And actually we had 3, because they gave me one at work. There was one at my house. And they had one in New Orleans for his mom. I remember I wasn't even there. His mom stood in the gap and was there for me for the baby shower in New Orleans. Oh my goodness. That was the first time I had ever experienced anything like that. And then for my son, when we had him, we had so close in age. Some of the stuff they shared right back to back, bottles and stuff like that were neutral. We had baby showers for him too at the house. It wasn't a double one like it was for Anaya, because when it's the first, it's the first. That's just how it is. Sorry, son, I remember when my husband left to deploy. Oh, man. I was with 2 young kids all by myself. That was different. My son was 2 weeks old. And child, I actually had a stalker. That guy was stalking me. At the time, I called my dad. And my dad told me, get a gun. What ended up happening was there was this guy that ended up being like at the wash house when I was at the wash house. He was at Walmart when I was at Walmart. I'm like, my husband's not here. And why are you showing up everywhere that I'm showing up? This is weird. And I told my husband about it. I was nervous. You know what I mean? Again, 2 young children. Baby, I don't know you. Get away from me. Yeah, my dad was like, get a gun. I did. It wasn't a powerhouse of a gun, okay, y'all. It was a 360. That 360 wasn't going to do nothing to nobody, Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Now I'm telling this story. That is funny. Listen to that now. Baby, that man probably would have been like, hit him with that gun back. Boom. Ha, boom. Ha. At least I could have stopped him. I should have had a taser. That probably would have been a better option. Needless to say, there was nothing that transpired from that. But we ended up moving, leaving Colorado and moving in with my mom, until my husband came back. I will say this, for me as a young mom, one of the things I probably should have did more of was made memories with my kids versus making them clean up so much. I know my kids probably like, yeah. I used to always tell them clean up when they came home from school. We had 30 minutes of reading and they would have to call me when I was at work because they were latchkey kids. Call me when they was at work. They ate their snack that was packed for them or ate whatever they cooked. Generally it was noodles. And then they would clean up. They had their chores. Now, I do believe in chores. I just don't think that chores should be, the only thing that they do. I think my kids got a lot of chores. They were chored out. Sorry. If I could go back in time and tell my 20-year-old self, hey, remember y'all, I was 20. Girl, play with them kids. Stop making them clean up all this stuff. Because they do grow up so fast. They grow up, they change, and they become who they are today. If you out there listening to me, my advice, take time with them while you can and get enough sleep, honey. Baby, I did not get enough rest as a new mom. I used to always be so concerned about everything and give myself a break. They will be okay. Kids are very resilient. I didn't realize that. I had to learn that. Every little situation you don't have to find a solution for. If I could tell my 20-year-old self that, it's gonna be okay, mama. It's gonna be okay. If they scratch their little hand, that hand gonna heal. And you have to have some hard conversations sometimes with your kids. Conversations about sex, drugs, and how people will not be so nice. I hate to say it. Conversations around being a Black child. It's those hard conversations like that us mothers, we don't come geared, like nobody gives us a playbook and say, hey, this is the conversation you're gonna have at what age? You don't know. You have to gauge it by your child's maturity level and when they're able to receive it in order to have a conversation. Like, there was so much I had to learn. Also, y'all, we as moms have to learn how to say sorry, to teach our kids sorry. That's a big one, okay? We make mistakes. We are not perfect. And I tell my kids that a lot. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Everything that I learn and I grow with, I teach y'all, because the one thing I don't want them to do is end up passing on bad habits to their children. When I talk to them now, because they are many adults, I kind of try to talk to them in the frame of mind that they're going to be raising my grandchildren. And I need for them to know these things so that they don't make either the same mistake that I have made or go ahead and make a mistake, because it's not that I've already made the mistake sometimes. Sometimes it's preventative. Sometimes it's tough, because your children, they are resistant to change and resistant to hearing you out. You still have to have those conversations. Making them mad, that's okay. It's just going to be temporary, I had to learn that. I used to didn't want to upset my children, but that comes from a place of me trying to be a people pleaser. They will be okay. Sometimes making them mad is a good thing, because if I make them mad now, it'll be something that'll prevent them from doing something odd and unruly in the future. Once they got up a certain age, I had to learn that I'm not telling them what to do, because even when they come to me and ask me for advice, it is tough, to be like, no, just do it like this. Nah, that's not it. And I can give a good shout out to my friend Nicole, because she told me this upon my daughter's graduation, is have to switch from being a parent to an advisor. And that is so true. I've done that. And I will ask my kids, like, straight up, what do you need from me? You need me to just, some days my daughter just calls me and I don't know if she realizes, she just be talking. And I don't really say anything. I'm analyzing the conversation just to see if maybe she really needs me to say something, or if she's asking for my advice, or if she just like, I just want somebody to hear me. For the most part, I can see what I have been teaching her all this time kind of come out. It is beautiful to see. They gonna be all right, mama. Look at this. Look at God showing me you've done some good in this, and this is why you needed your girl first. All of these things that kind of come full circle to you as a mom. Y'all let me know if y'all have those moments and how y'all have communication with your children, and if it works out like that, do you advise them? I'm just curious. I think it's very important that even adults, like us adult moms, we get together and we chit chat and we talk. We talk about how we manage things in our household as our children are becoming a little bit older, because we all know, we see this economy. We see most of us still have our children in our house. You know, they're not really going anywhere anytime soon, and that's cool. It's fine. How are we managing this difference compared to us? Because again, like I said, I was between 21 and like 25, pregnant and having children. So there's a big difference between them, me, us now. So I want them to understand that there's a difference. And I want them to understand that in that difference, they still have to do what they need to do for themselves, gain some independence, and not depend on mom and dad to do things for them, certain things for them. Yes, we're here, and they know that. Don't use it as a crutch per se. That's how I want my kids to really think about life. And I want them to experience things, because experience is the best teacher. And I always say this prayer, you know, Lord, if my children have to have an experience, please let it be an experience that they can bounce back from. Some life lessons are very hard. As I've gotten more older and more mature, I've started to realize a lot more of the things that my mom was telling me about, the dangers that are out here for children, and they don't see it, but I do. It is what it is. Y'all drop me some comments. Let me know if y'all enjoyed this morning's TED Talk. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So like I was saying, make sure y'all go back and check out my last video where I was talking about parenthood, content creation, and of course my fear of doing videos like this. But we're doing them so we can get over that fear. Let me know your thoughts and your comments about motherhood. And again, happy Mother's Day to all my mothers out there who are taking a look at this video. I will see you guys on next Sunday at noon, so don't forget to be here. All right, y'all. Check y'all later.